The galactic palace of Zithra Prime was a place where even shadows were afraid to move. Built from living crystal and black star metal, it floated above a dying blue planet like a god watching ants. No human was ever allowed inside. Except one. His name was Elias Carter, a silent human janitor who cleaned alien blood, royal dust, and forgotten corridors no one else wanted to touch. He was invisible to them, just another low-ranked lifeform hired because humans were cheap and expendable. That day, Elias broke the greatest rule of the palace. He brought his daughter with him. Her name was Rosa. Rosa was 7 years old. Small. Fragile. With soft brown hair tied into uneven ponytails and eyes too old for her age. She held a tiny fabric doll in her arms, the only thing she had saved from Earth. Elias had no choice. The daycare station had been destroyed in a pirate raid. If he missed work, he would be executed. If he brought her, he would be executed. So he chose hope. Stay close, Elias whispered as they entered the outer hall. Don't talk. Don't touch anything. Rosa nodded. The palace corridors were massive, glowing with alien symbols that crawled like living insects across the walls. Rosa had never seen anything so beautiful, or so terrifying. They cleaned quietly for hours, until the air changed. A deep vibration passed through the palace like a heartbeat. Guards froze. Servant drones shut down midair. Only one being caused that reaction. Queen Yen. The alien queen of Zithra was not merely royalty, she was a living legend. She had conquered 12 systems, erased 3 species, and ruled for over 300 cycles. Cold. Merciless. Unchallenged. Her arrival was announced by silence. Rosa felt it before she saw her. A towering figure emerged from the golden mist, tall, elegant, terrifying. Queen Yan's skin shimmered like dark pearl. Her eyes glowed violet, ancient and heavy with memories older than Earth itself. Elias dropped to his knees instantly. But Rosa didn't. She looked up. And that was when the universe cracked. Queen Yen stopped walking. Her eyes locked onto the small human girl standing beside a trembling janitor. Time slowed. The queen's breath caught, something no one had ever witnessed before. She took one step closer. Then another. The guards raised their weapons, confused. No one dared speak. Queen Yen stared at Rosa's face. The same eyes. The same scar near the eyebrow. The same soft, uneven smile. Her voice, when it came, shook the throne hall. She looks like my dead daughter. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Elias's heart stopped. Rosa tilted her head innocently. You look sad, she said softly. A human child had spoken to the queen. No lightning struck. No execution followed. Instead, Queen Yan's hand trembled. Memories flooded her mind. A small alien child laughing in a garden of blue fire. A scream. A betrayal. A lifeless body in her arms. Her daughter had died 2 centuries ago. And yet, this human child looked exactly like her. Who is this child? Queen Yen demanded. Elias pressed his forehead to the floor. My daughter, your majesty. Rosa. I swear I didn't mean. Queen Yen raised a hand. Bring the child to me. Guards hesitated. Now. Rosa walked forward on her own. She wasn't afraid. When she reached Queen Yen, the queen slowly knelt, lowering herself before a human child. Unheard of. Rosa reached out and touched the queen's face. You're cold, Rosa said. My mama was cold too, when she went to sleep forever. The palace shook. Queen Yen closed her eyes. Tears, real tears, fell from her alien eyes and hit the crystal floor. That day, the most feared ruler in the galaxy whispered words no one ever thought possible. Take them to the royal quarters. Both of them. And in the shadows of the palace, ancient forces began to awaken. Because Rosa was not just a child. She was the beginning of something the galaxy had buried long ago. The royal chambers of Zithra Prime were silent, but not peaceful. Soft blue light flowed through living crystal walls, rising and falling like slow breathing. Outside, entire galaxies rotated in the distance, uncaring. Inside, a human child slept on a bed meant for gods. Rosa lay curled on her side, clutching her old fabric doll. Her chest moved gently with each breath. Elias sat nearby, hands shaking, eyes red from fear and exhaustion. He had cleaned blood from alien floors for years, but nothing had ever terrified him like kindness from a monster. And Queen Yen, the most feared being in the galaxy, stood watching the child as if she were staring at a ghost. She even sleeps the same way, Yen whispered to herself. Elias heard it. Your Majesty, his voice trembled. If this is a mistake, please, just let me take my daughter and leave. We won't tell anyone. Yen slowly turned. Leave, she repeated calmly. There is nowhere left to run. She raised her hand, and a thin ring of light sealed the chamber doors. Elias's heart sank. Don't worry, Yen said. That seal is to keep others out. Not you in. She walked closer to Rosa, her tall shadow covering the bed. For a moment, the queen looked less like a ruler and more like a grieving mother. Tell me, Yen said. Did the child ever get sick? Strange dreams? Moments where machines stopped working near her? Elias hesitated. She makes lights flicker sometimes. And once, during an airlock failure, she told me not to be scared. The doors sealed themselves. Yen closed her eyes. So it has begun. She waved her hand, and a hologram bloomed into the air. Ancient symbols spun slowly, forming images, DNA strands, star maps, and two children side by side. One was alien. One was human. My daughter's name was Era, Yen said. She was born during the War of Broken Suns, a time when we believed only domination could bring peace. The hologram shifted. Era laughed, running through gardens made of glowing blue fire. She was different, Yen continued. She felt pain for others, even enemies. The council called it weakness. The image darkened. She carried a rare genetic bridge, a living key, one that could merge consciousness across species. Elias frowned. You're saying Rosa is like her? No, Yen said softly. I am saying Rosa is the continuation. Elias stood up. That's impossible. Rosa's mother was human. I'm human. There's nothing special about us. Yen looked at him with piercing eyes. Long before humans understood fire, she said, we seeded fragments of our legacy across developing worlds. Bloodlines that would awaken only when the galaxy reached the edge of extinction. She looked back at Rosa. Your daughter is one of those awakenings. As if hearing her name, Rosa stirred. Daddy, she murmured. Elias rushed to her side. I'm here, baby. Rosa opened her eyes and gasped. The room shimmered. Her pupils glowed faint violet. Yen froze. Rosa, Yen said gently, kneeling beside the bed. Do you hear whispers when you sleep? Rosa nodded slowly. They're not scary. They're lonely. Yen inhaled sharply. Before she could speak, the palace lights turned red. A deep alarm echoed through the structure. Intrusion protocol activated. Yen stood instantly. That didn't take long. A guard's voice came through the chamber walls. Your Majesty, the High Council has overridden your authority. They are deploying purifiers. Elias felt cold. Purifiers. Yen's jaw tightened. Assassins who erase bloodlines. The hologram shifted again, this time showing armored alien figures descending toward the palace. They killed my daughter to stop what she could become, Yen said. They will do the same to yours. Rosa clutched Elias's sleeve. Daddy, why are they angry? Elias had no answer. Yen knelt in front of Rosa, lowering herself until their eyes were level. Little one, Yen said softly. Inside you is something ancient. Something that scares those who rule by fear. Rosa frowned. I don't want to scare anyone. Yen's voice cracked. Neither did my daughter. The walls shook as an explosion tore through a distant wing of the palace. Dust fell like snow. Your Majesty, a guard shouted, entering the chamber with a bleeding arm. They're breaching the inner levels. Yen turned to Elias. You have two choices, she said. Run and die tired. Or trust a queen who has nothing left to lose. Elias swallowed hard. He looked at Rosa, small, shaking, innocent. Then he nodded. Yen placed her hand on the floor. Ancient symbols ignited beneath her feet. From this moment, she declared, Rosa is under my protection. The air grew heavy. Outside, council ships fired again. Inside, Rosa cried out, clutching her chest. Daddy, it hurts. Her body lifted slightly from the bed. The light shattered. Machines failed across the palace. Yan's eyes widened, not in fear, but awe. She's stronger than I thought. Rosa screamed, not in pain but confusion. A pulse of energy surged outward. Every purifier collapsed mid-step. The palace went silent. Rosa fell back into Elias's arms unconscious. Elias held her, shaking. What's happening to my daughter? Yan looked down at them, her expression a mix of terror and hope. What is happening? She said slowly. Is the galaxy remembering a promise it tried to kill? And far away, in the deepest black between stars, something ancient awakened, and turned its attention toward Rosa. The silence after the pulse was worse than the alarms. For a moment, the vast palace of Zithra Prime felt like a grave. Lights shattered, guards frozen where they had fallen, and distant stars flickering as if unsure whether to keep shining. Rosa lay unconscious in Elias's arms, her small body warm, her breathing shallow. Rosa, please wake up, Elias whispered, his voice breaking. Across the chamber, Queen Yan stood utterly still, staring at the child as if the universe had just rewritten itself in front of her eyes. That pulse, Yan said slowly, disabled every purifier within the inner orbit. Elias looked up in disbelief. You mean she stopped them? Yan nodded once. She didn't attack, Yan said. She protected. The floor trembled again, but this time it wasn't an explosion. It was something answering her. The crystal walls darkened, forming a vast holographic window. Beyond it, space twisted, folding inward like a wound reopening. A shape emerged. Not a ship. Not a weapon. A presence. Ancient. Endless. Watching. Yan's breath caught. The witness. Elias felt his blood turn cold. What is that? A memory the universe never erased, Yan replied. The first intelligence that ever tried to unite all life, and was sealed away because rulers feared losing control. The presence spoke, not in sound, but directly into their minds. The bridge has awakened. The child lives. Rosa stirred. Her eyes opened fully now, glowing with steady violet light, not wild, not painful, but calm. She sat up in Elias's arms as if gravity no longer mattered. Daddy, she said gently, I'm not scared anymore. Elias held her tighter, tears streaming down his face. I am, baby. I really am. Rosa touched his cheek. Instantly the shaking stopped. His heart slowed. His fear eased. Yan watched stunned. She's stabilizing emotions, Yan whispered. On a planetary scale. Outside the palace, Council warships regained partial control. Weapons recharged. Orders screamed across command decks. Fire on the palace, the council demanded. Yan stepped forward, her voice sharp. They will kill her if they can. Rosa looked toward the stars. They're afraid because they don't know how to stop hurting. Yan knelt beside her. You can end them, Yan said. Erase the council. Rule. No one could challenge you. Rosa looked at the queen, at the grief carved into her ancient face. You tried that, Rosa said softly. It didn't heal you. Yan froze. Rosa then looked at Elias. Daddy, you always clean messes people don't want to face, she said. Can I clean this one? Elias laughed weakly through tears. I think you already are. The witness spoke again. Choose bridge. Bind them or free them. Rosa closed her eyes. She remembered Earth. Cold metal shelters. A tired father scrubbing floors. A mother who never woke up. She remembered Zithra. A lonely queen. A galaxy drowning in fear. Rosa raised her small hands. Light, not blinding, not violent, spread outward. Across the galaxy, something impossible happened. Weapons powered down. Borders dissolved. Species that had never shared a thought suddenly felt each other's pain. Not control. Understanding. Council members collapsed screaming. Not in agony, but in shame. What have we done? One cried. Queen Yan fell to her knees. This is what my daughter wanted, she whispered. The witness began to fade, its purpose fulfilled. The bridge chooses mercy. So the universe continues. The light faded. Rosa slumped forward. Elias caught her instantly. Rosa. Rosa. For one terrifying second, she didn't breathe. Then, a small cough. Her eyes fluttered open. Daddy, she murmured, sleepy again. Did I do okay? Elias pressed his forehead to hers, sobbing. You did more than okay. Days later, the galaxy was unrecognizable. The council disbanded itself. The purge protocol was erased from all records. Warships became relief carriers. Queen Yen addressed the galaxy one final time. Not from a throne, but standing beside a human janitor and his child. For centuries, Yen said, we ruled through fear and called it order. She placed a hand over her heart. This child reminded us that power without compassion is just loneliness. She turned to Rosa. Will you stay? Yen asked gently. Help guide us. Rosa shook her head with a shy smile. I just want to go home with my dad. The galaxy listened. Yen knelt, not as a queen but as a mother. Then go, she said. And know this, wherever you walk, the stars will remember your kindness. As Elias and Rosa boarded a small transport ship, workers, alien, human, and everything between, paused to watch. No one bowed. They smiled. As the ship drifted away, Rosa waved. And for the first time in history, the universe did not fear its future. It trusted it.